Today, I'm going to review and test an LED headlight that many of you have been asking me to test, the Lasfit LS Plus. Will it live up to everyone's expectations? And why do I think it might be the most reliable LED headlight upgrade I've tested so far? Well, let's find out together. Hello everyone and welcome to Car Light Reviews. If you've never been here before, I perform consistent automotive light tests to help you make the best purchase decision, enjoy your car better, and save you money. And due to popular demand, this is the Lasfit LS Plus. In fact, quite a bit of you have asked me to test this, so here you go. Now, I tested a Lasfit light on my other channel, In Jason's Garage, about 3 years ago, when I did a 3157 brake light bulb shootout video. In fact, that video was the first of me using a lux meter, and that video paved the way for this channel and this video that you're viewing right now. Check it out and let me know if you'd like me to do another 3157 shootout here on this channel. Anyway, at that time, I was running one of these Lasfit taillights in my vehicle. I like the fact that they were shaped similarly to the halogen bulb it replaced, and I'm not kidding, I am still running the exact same lights in my vehicle 3 years later without issue. Now, we're taking a look at Lasfit's forward lighting offering to see how well it does, again, because of your suggestions. And like all my other LED headlight videos, I'm going to do an introduction and an unboxing, go over the published specifications, and then cover some of the features, and then I'm going to test the brightness and light pattern for both projector and reflector housings to see how it performs. Okay, let's get started with the unboxing. And first, before I even do it, you'll see this is a different type of box design than most. I think it's kind of cool, and it has a nice texture on it. It looks like they put a little thought into it. I really like that. Oh, look at that. Stickers. And lots of them. Look at that. Nice. And the product manual and the wrench for adjusting the collar. And here's the lights themselves. This is pretty cool too. Okay, let's start with the published specifications of the Lasfit LS Plus. 36 watts each, 4,000 lumens each, has a color temperature of 6,000 K. The chip is not listed as to what it is exactly. The IP rating is 68, and the hour rating is 30,000. Now, one thing I want to point out about this and the published specifications on this, they're much lower than most you'll see listed. And I think that's a good thing, because according to my tests, the published specifications for this light are more realistic, and I think that it's refreshing to see honest numbers here. It does have an adjustable collar, as you saw. You need a wrench to secure it, and it does have a fan for heat management, and I'm going to talk about this fan in a minute. It does have an external driver, has a warranty of 2 years, and the price at the time of this video, before any discounts, is $129.99. Now, you got to keep an eye out for big discounts on Amazon for this, and I put a link in the description below to where you can get it. And through the end of 2022, there is an additional 10% off coupon code for this light. And that stacks with any existing coupons on Amazon, which is really rare. So now is the time to get a great deal on this light if it's for you. And let's find out if it is. Let's go over my initial observations of this. It does have a pretty standard design here overall. Nothing groundbreaking, but that's okay. It's going with the tried and true design. It does have some really nice braided cables. They are a little stiff though, so if you need to maneuver this into a position, you might have to work with it a little bit. It does have a very, very compact driver. It's pretty small. Now let's talk about the obvious. This thing has some serious junk in the trunk. I mean, look at the size of that heatsink and that fan. And just for comparison's sake, here is the Hikari Titanova that I reviewed in my previous video that I declared as the best overall premium light that I've tested so far. And the fan on this is just huge comparison. I would say that the Hikari Titanova is average size fan. Look at the difference here. Just massive compared to most. And we're going to see if it does the job at keeping the light cool later in this video. And keep in mind that this may not fit under many dust caps because of the size of this. It is 1.65 inches in diameter, and it is 1.55 inches from the leading edge of the collar to the end. So make sure that you measure and make sure it fits under any dust caps you might have. Now, as mentioned, this video came as a suggestion by many of you who leave comments in my videos, and I love spending the time, effort, and money to bring it to you, and I hope that you can help me out in return. So if you found this video valuable to enjoying your car more, do me a favor. Click on the thumbs up, Click on the thanks icon to directly support this channel, and I'm talking to you guys who pretty much demanded that I test this light. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. And on a side note, I really want to thank everybody who subscribes. In my previous video, I mentioned that less than 10% of those who watch my videos are actually subscribed to this channel. Well, some of you heard that, and you stepped up and made me a really happy guy, because now I'm seeing over 12% of you are subscribed to this channel. So thanks, guys, and I'd really like to see that number keep climbing. So if you haven't, punch that subscribe button. I really appreciate everyone's support of my efforts. Now, let's see how the Lasfit LS Plus performed, starting with the projector test. 1,816 lux, that's 1,091 over the HALOGEN 725 lux measurement. This is bright, not the brightest I've tested, but definitely gets the job done. Now pay attention to what I'm going to say next, because what I'm going to say is what makes this light very, very special. After 27 minutes, the average commute time in the United States, it retained an unbelievable 93% of that initial light output, resulting in 1,689 lux over time, 964 over halogen. So while this light isn't even in the top 5 of initial brightness, it is the second brightest I have tested so far after 27 minutes of runtime. This is just behind that Hikari 2023 Future Titanova that I mentioned earlier, and not by much, a difference of less than 200 lux, a difference that you may not even notice. Now, I have not tested a light so far that keeps over 90% of that light output over time. And while the initial brightness is good for a baseline, what's more important is the real-world use. How much light is usable while you're driving over time. So as soon as you turn an LED car light on, the light output starts to drop due to heat. And keeping 93% of that light output shows that this light has remarkably good heat management, which also means it should have a very low failure rate. And I have to think that the big old fan on the back deserves the credit. But as we all know, power is nothing without control, so let's see how the output compares to halogen. The cutoff is slightly fuzzy, not a huge issue, and the beam is fuller on the ends vertically, but is narrow in the middle by comparison. And the common weak spot is a bit pronounced, but it isn't much worse, if at all, than many of the lights I've tested that are certainly not as bright. Now what saves this is I didn't have to aim the hot spot very high above the lux sensor, so I expect it to project down the road very well. Now, let's take a look at the reflector. 3,710 lux. That's 2,800 over the halogen 910 lux. Again, it's not the brightest in the reflector from an initial output standpoint, but as we talked about, it keeps a highly efficient 93% of that light over time, and after 27 minutes, the Lasfit LS Plus is reduced to 3,450 lux, or 2,540 lux over halogen. That incredible light retention makes this one the second brightest over time in a reflector, just 47 lux behind the X77 Apollo that I tested a few videos back. 47 lux is so minor, it is a fraction of an inch of adjustment of the reflector housing in my test environment. You'd never notice the difference when driving. That heat management is really making this light an absolute must-buy, if it fits under the dust cap if you have one. Now let's see how it did in terms of accuracy compared to halogen. Well, it does seem like it is struggling a bit here. As you can see, the cutoff is a bit harder to define than most. And below this line right here, it seems to start to lose control. And I'm not really sure why, as the chip placement and overall design is on the standard side. Now this will do the job in a reflector, but you might find it doesn't quite work depending on the design of your specific reflector in your car. So use this in a reflector with caution. As I mentioned, there is a published rating of 36 watts per light. I observed 33.1 in my tests. And for heat management, let's talk about that. After 27 minutes of runtime, the average commute time in the United States, my FLIR thermal camera recorded 132 degrees Fahrenheit or 56 degrees Celsius for the main unit and 124 degrees Fahrenheit or 51 degrees Celsius for the driver. So yes, the big old fan on this one works and works well at keeping this light bright for a very long time. It seems to do a very good job. However, you will definitely hear it. The fan on this is very, very loud. Possibly one of the loudest fans I have tested in an LED light upgrade. That, and the fact that it won't likely fit under many OEM dust caps, is your trade-off for great longevity and great brightness. And as always, if you want to compare all specifications on all the lights I've tested, I have a link in the description to a free spreadsheet that I update with every video release. Check it out. It'll really help you decide what's best for you. What a neat light this is. I get excited every time I get a new light to test, and sometimes a very impressive light has a hard time keeping up with great output over time, and that actually bums me out a little bit, but not in this case. If you've got a projector housing on your car without a dust cap, and you want an LED upgrade with the expectation of longevity and a very low failure rate, this is a must-buy. You want reliable? Based on my testing, this is a no-brainer. I have not tested anything this efficient yet. Now, if you got a projector housing on your car with a dust cap, make sure it can fit. And if it does, again, this is what you want. Keep in mind, it does have a 2-year warranty, twice the typical warranty. Now, if you have a reflector housing, it will work, but you need to make sure, again, it fits under your dust cap if you have one. And of course, if it works well with the design of your housing. Otherwise, it might work against you and oncoming traffic. So use with caution and aim carefully. Can't stress that enough. And by the way, if you think that this fan is big, Lasfit also makes this, the Pro Series. This thing is almost comical, with the heat sink being almost 3 inches in diameter, and is definitely not for vehicles with dust caps. But if it works, it works. And based on this light, the LS Plus, I bet it works very, very well. So let me know if you'd like me to test that one out in the future. Links to where you can buy the Lasfit LS Plus are in the description. And again, through the end of 2022, there is a 10% coupon code for this light that stacks with any existing coupons on Amazon. Again, find that in the description. So if this light fits your vehicle, get a good deal on it while you can. And as I mentioned, you can also find that link in the description to that spreadsheet with all the specs, so you can compare this light to the others in one easy view. And finally, as always, click on the thumbs up, the thanks icon, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. If you have a suggestion on what I should test in the future, by all means, please leave a comment and I'll check into it. This review is a result of a lot of you guys asking for it in the comments of my other videos. I consider all of your suggestions, but I pay very close attention to the suggestions of those who click on the thanks icon. And of course, I appreciate all who click on subscribe and hit the bell. As always, thank you for the suggestions and the support of Car Light Reviews, and thanks for watching. I hope this video helps you find the right lighting upgrades for your needs so you can enjoy your car more and save you money. Keep your headlights aimed, drive safely, responsibly, and respectfully.